Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to learn about gradient. In every straight line there is a slope. For example, we have a straight line y, it has a slope. We have another line like, let me say x, like this. We have another line z. Each straight line has a slope regardless of the axis. The measure of a slope of a line, is called the gradient, and that is the topic of today. So we're going to learn about the gradient of a straight line. But what you have to know is the gradient of a line is the change in y coordinates, vertical, and the change in the x coordinate, which are the horizontal. For example, I want to draw a Cartesian plane. So this is a Cartesian plane. For instance, we have a point which is here, and then we have another point which is around here. So we have those 2 points that marks this line. So we have that point that marks this line. Let me call this line P. So line P has one point, which is the coordinates of this one point is 1, 1, and the coordinates of another point, which is here, it's 4, 4. Those are the coordinates of this line. So for you to find the gradient of this line, from our definition of gradient, we say is change in y coordinates over change in x coordinates. So the gradient of this line P, the gradient of P is equals to change in y coordinates over change in x coordinates. By change in y coordinate, it means the difference in y coordinates. The difference in y coordinates for this, this represents the x, the y, the x, and the y. So the change in y coordinate, it will be 4 subtracted to this one, over change in x is 4 subtracted to 1. So it's 4 subtracted to 1. So our answer will be 4 subtracted to 1, it's what? 3 over 3. So the gradient of this line, it's 1. And that's how you go about calculation of the gradient of a line. We can also have another example. For example, we have this equation. A line passes through the point 3, 4, and the line passes through the other point is negative 4, negative 5, negative 4, negative 5. They say find the gradient of that line. Find the gradient of that line. So I'll bring this diagram here. I have already plotted the figures. As you can see, we have the first point is 3, 4. We have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 going upwards, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is our point. Our first point is 3, 4, and then our next point is negative 4, negative 5, negative 4, negative 5. And then you've told to find the gradient of that line. So we are going to do this calculation. First, remember the formula. The formula of gradient is equals to change in what? The gradient is equals to change in y coordinates over change in x coordinates. So change in y coordinate, it will be change in y, it will be 4 subtracted to the other y coordinate negative 5. over change in x coordinate, which we have the first x coordinate is 3, subtracted to the other x coordinate negative 4. From here we know minus it gives you a positive. So minus 4 minus 5 is going to give you 9 over 3 minus 4 is going to give you 7. So for this case, the gradient of this line is 9 over 7. This is the gradient of this line. You can pause the video, and then from here you check the procedure you've done. I'm going to use another last example of change in y over change in x to find the gradient of a line. Our last example is given a is equals to 4, 1, and coordinates of b is equals to 2, negative 3. The first thing for you to calculate this, you can calculate it without plotting, but for you I want to plot for you so that it will be easier when you're told to plot this point. So we can point, let us start by plotting a. When you plot a, it's 4, 1. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you move up once. So it will be point A, it's here, and then point B, it's 2, negative 3. So it's 1, 2, negative 3, 1, 2, 3, somewhere here, 2, negative 3. So this is our point B. That's our point B. You can join those lines. For your case, you can use a ruler for it to be straight. So our line passes through A and B. So find what? Find the gradient. The gradient. Find the gradient of that line. Remember our formula, the gradient is equals to change in y coordinates over change in x coordinates, which will give us change in. So find the gradient of this line. So the gradient, we say the gradient is equals to change in y coordinates over change in x coordinates. So for the change in y coordinates, it's negative 3 minus 1 over 4 over 2 minus 4. So it is 2 minus 4. So this will give you negative 3 minus 1, it's negative 4 over 2 subtracted to 4 is going to give you negative 2. So this negative 2 will cancel with this one. It will give you positive 2. So our gradient here is 2. So that marks the end of our topic today. Find the gradients of a line. And that's it for today. So if the video was useful to you, if you like the video, please click the like button. And then don't forget to subscribe, and please give your views and comments on the topic that you might want me to cover.